Now we're joined today by Steve Georganas, who's a Labor backbencher and who's been in the centre of this process across party lines to try and break the impasse on boat people. So congratulations, Steve.
Thank you, Katharine.
Thumbs up. Now, how's it going?
Look, pretty good. I think there was a group of us that got together yesterday, people that are quite passionate about this particular subject, and certainly after the horrific scenes that we saw on our TVs over the weekend of people losing their lives, we just think enough is enough. We just want to make sure that there is some solution to this. Now, what that solution is, I don't know, but what we need to do is get the two leaders together to start talking again and to start moving on this particular subject. There are a few things on the table. There's the Malaysia solution, there's things that Tony Abbott's putting up there, acceptable to some, unacceptable to others. But what we definitely do need is to break that deadlock and get them back on the table talking so they can come up with a solution so we can prevent seeing any other deaths at sea.
Yeah, well, it's just appalling, and I think the public's had a gutful, basically. And, you know, certainly the toing and froing today, and this is no criticism of anyone, but the toing and froing is everybody in very rigid positions, isn't it? I mean, it's going to take some sort of real change in the narrative for you guys to cut through that, I think. And you say there's different options now. Tony Windsor said to us yesterday, we had a chat to him, he said essentially all of these models have got to be put to one side, right? Put Malaysia aside, put Nauru aside, go back to basics, start again. Is that your view? Or?
That's my view. Look, the view that I have is that there is a solution on the table. There's the Malaysia solution. But I think if you get both parties at the table talking, who knows what will come out of it. And the most important thing out of all of this is to break that deadlock. And there's been a deadlock now for 6 months where we haven't moved on this particular topic. And in the meantime, we've seen more boats sinking and more deaths, which is tragic. And we saw Christmas Island late last year, young mums, children, babies. This time we saw young men. It's terrible, it's tragic. These are human beings, they're not cargo. This footage absolutely shocks me, but I think as a Member of Parliament, each and every one of us here has to do the utmost, the most possible utmost that we can to ensure that it doesn't happen again. And if we're not doing that as Members of Parliament, well then, we're not doing our job.
And you're obviously the Labor MP that's participated in this process, but I don't imagine you're alone, are you? A number of your colleagues are presumably on board with trying to cut through and do something a bit productive here?
Certainly not. There's been a lot of interest from my colleagues in the Labor Party who want to attend other meetings, and I think it's already working. We've seen both leaders come out and talk about it, at least to the media. That's a start. The next step is to get them to the table to negotiate and ensure that we can break that deadlock.
And what are you doing internally? Obviously, don't tell us state secrets.
No, there's no state secrets on this.
But what are you doing internally to try and push this along?
Well, I've raised it through my party forums that we have, and ensuring that we can get our side to speak, and they've agreed to that. And I was very pleased to hear the Prime Minister yesterday saying that she's open to discussions, and again Minister Bowen today. So I suppose the next step is to try and get Mr Abbott to agree as well. And
you're meeting again with this group tomorrow, Steve?
We are at some stage tomorrow to just see what the next step is, and I believe that tomorrow's meeting will be far bigger than Monday's meeting.
And goodwill in the room? There
was a lot of goodwill, and look, I think this is the best way to take the politics out of it, when you've got people that are like-minded from all political parties. We had people there from the Nationals, we had members of the Liberal Party, we had members of Independents, myself, and people that are very keen to see a solution on this, people that don't want to see any other boats sinking, and seeing governments and oppositions doing everything they can to prevent those boats sinking. And that was our aim, and I think we're going to keep on going until we can achieve that.
Good on you, Steve. Thanks for joining us. We'll keep in touch.